Hey everybody, Jimmy here with the Triple C Collective, and with me, my co-host today,
Ed Norton.
and we are ready to bite into you with some Jaws.
Oh, that was terrible.
It's already started. But this is a movie that, it's celebrating 50 years this year. It's 2025. I love this movie. This movie has had a major impact on me throughout my life. I continue to enjoy the rewatch of it. I have, since the initial rewatch, like through our mutual friend Murphy, he was like, "Hey, did you know Jaws was a book once?" And I was like, "What?" And then, so I eventually got the audio book right here that I love, 8 discs with the, second paperback poster. And then my Uncle Mike had an original print still of Jaws that has the original black cover.
It looks actually like a whale more than it does a...
Right?
Yeah.
And so, I've talked a little bit about Jaws and me. What does Jaws mean to you, man?
Well, Jaws, for me, is probably my introduction to horror, even though I don't kind of view it as a horror nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first got introduced to it, it was definitely through my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
And that was probably the first real horror movie that I actually experienced. And now I think it's more of a thriller. Yeah, there's, gore and blood and there's death, but I think it's more of a thriller than anything. It's more the anticipation.
That's fair.
But for growing up at that age,
I really think age matters.
Yeah, being introduced to it, especially,
yeah,
being introduced to it from your father at 5, it's definitely a horror movie. And it's so I have a lot of really core memories actually from Jaws. Growing up with it, and I mean, till this day, it still scares the Jesus out of me. So,
yeah,
I remember growing up with that because my dad was really into it. He used to joke around about it. It causes trauma still today. I don't like the ocean. Possibly one of my greatest fears, which is drowning. Or being trapped underwater. It's totally terrifying for me. So. That's why I wanted to talk about it. This is more therapy for me, though. You get this out in the open.
No, but fear-wise, dude, you're for me, absolutely. There's a reason why when we went to our friend's wedding in Florida, there was we took a picture there, and we were in the ocean, and everybody was like, "Oh, let's go ankles deep," and I was like, "I will cover the top of my foot in the ocean," and that is about as far as I am going because. You go in the cage goes in the water, shark's in the water, our shark, no, I ain't messing with that.
I'll still go into the ocean, but I'm not I'm not traveling out there. I'll go in for a quick dip, but I'm not gonna go in a vessel into the ocean, under the ocean, or on top of it. I don't care. I'm not going into it.
Now I guess one of the questions I do have for you is, have you, because they've obviously rebrought it back into theaters for the 50 year this year, have you at any point in your life ever seen Jaws on the big screen?
No, I haven't, and it was something that I wanted to do. So a couple years back, actually I think it was pre-COVID. My wife and I, before we were married, went down to Austin, which is where they have the, it's on the lake that they filmed it at, and they watched it on the big screen. And when we were down there, it was actually for a conference. So my wife was working the whole time, so I had to find things to do. That was one of the things to do, but unfortunately I didn't get the opportunity. And if it was going to be on the big screen, that was the time to do it.
Dude, I'm so happy you brought that up because it's that is an experience. I love theater experiences or unique ones or whatever. And seeing Jaws in an inner tube on the water played out on the big
like a lazy river Jaws viewing. It's pretty cool. It's a nice little spin on the drive-in.
Yeah, right. The float-in.
That was lame too. That one wasn't as bad as let's take a the bite comment you made, but that was bad.
So actually in 2022, for like that would be the 47-year anniversary of it, they put it back out in theaters. And
Okay.
I know my wife and I went to go see it because we saw it. I mean, we had gotten like the vax and everything, so like we felt safer, going to a movie. But we saw it in basically an empty theater. But let me tell you, it was an IMAX release at the Quarry here.
Oh wow, yeah.
And
yeah, an IMAX.
It was an experience. It was like watching the movie for the first time, and like so it brought a whole new like appreciation. I mean, again, I've always loved this movie. The making of documentary of it, like the shark is still working doc, the new Nate Geo doc and stuff, 50 years of Jaws, the Jaws log and stuff. All these things are great. Well, the Jaws log is like a shooting script of the making of Jaws. But all of these great things have just been like celebrated. And if you just want to know how the meat is made, go ahead and check out these things. We'll talk about them a little bit, just highlighting little points. But yeah, man, if you get a chance to see Jaws, go check it out. It's an experience that you have to see.
I've had similar experiences like that. Not with of course, not with Jaws, because I just stated I haven't seen it. But I believe one time, I think we went to go see like Terminator 2 when it was re-released at like the Music Box. And like the good thing about the Music Box though is it was like on the original
35 millimeter.
Thank
print.
you. Yeah. So it was like it that was a great nostalgia feel to it. Like
it still had the grain. And
yeah.
Like
you could see the little burn marks.
Yeah, what Tyler Durden called cigarette burns.
Yeah, cigarette burns. Yeah. So, but like, I remember when we did that, and I mean, we were much younger. I mean, I think we were in our 20s. We had a group of friends go, and like that, like Terminator 2 was like a huge movie for me growing up too, and that was because of my brother. Another movie, definitely introduced to way too young.
For sure.
Thank my brother for that one.
That's why I still hate AI to this day.
But that's the thing. Like when I went to do that, and it's also like that feeling of you're going with friends and stuff like that. So like seeing that on the big screen was great. So I can only imagine, especially like with something as classic as Jaws, that I would probably most likely have the same exact experience. Because like that was, and I mean again, that was just like. We just went to an older movie theater, saw it on the 35 millimeter, and like there was nothing like crazy like event about it, but it was just a very nostalgic feeling, very comforting feeling. It was like, this was great, and I feel like I could do that with Jaws, but then I'm like, yeah, do I really want to like rehash all of the things I'm scared of, just in in a bigger picture?
Right. Now, as I mentioned earlier, have you ever read the book at all, or listened to the audiobook or anything?
No, I have not, and for the longest time, I did not know it was a book. I actually didn't know it was a book probably until like I was in my mid-20s. So no, I haven't read it. To be honest, I don't read too many books just because if I can't picture it, like I can read Harry Potter because I saw the movies. That's what I'm getting at. So I could probably read the book.
I was about to say. Okay, if I'm being truly honest, I mean a novel is always a novel just in the way it's written is always different than than writing a script. So anybody out there like. If you have a novel idea, write the novel first, and then worry about trying to adapt a screenplay of your own or whatever. But with that being said, Peter Bentley did do this, or eventually did do this. I was like, it's not bad. And he did adapt his own novel. And one thing that there was 3 things that they cut out. There is a mob connection to the mayor. Good. And like to be fair, that's almost like the way he's talking about we need the silver dollars and stuff, it's like, do you though? Like these are the people that are living here. Like you don't have these people, like you don't have a town and stuff. So like they almost leave his character like he clearly had read the book and everything like that. Murray Hamilton, the actor. Yeah. And so like he had that knowledge, and I think that helped his performance almost in it. But it's something that is never mentioned in it. There's no mob connection or anything at all. Now, if you read the book, that almost, like I said, I feel like that almost enhances his performance a little bit better because, like, you're like, oh my God, that's why he's making these decisions. Otherwise, like, he's just kind of
it's actually a really good call on cutting out that mob connection because as you said, like within reading the book, it's like, oh, he's a sleazebag mayor, and then you find out like, oh no, he was a sleazebag for different reasons. But you don't need that in the movie, right? He's just a sleazebag. He's a politician.
Yep. And that was also something the producers Zanuck and Brown also said. The other thing that was like the big thing that they got rid of was Mrs. Brody has an affair with Hooper.
Yeah, I don't need that. Sorry, I don't need that.
And then finally Hooper actually dies in the, spoilers if you haven't seen a 50-year-old movie that we're, celebrating here.
Or read the book.
Or read the book. It's when Hooper dies Hooper gets attacked in the shark cage. He actually dies in the book during that attack. He gets like ripped apart because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he dies during that and is not saved. And one of the things that like Spielberg again was talking with Benchley about was like, no man, like I want people at the end of this movie on their feet screaming and yelling. And Benchley was like, it's Hooper, let him die. Like was kind of just like his thing. And it's just kind of like, oh my God, imagine that. Those two talking at the end, the sharks spinning around. You got the John Williams score swelling. Quint, no, and they're swimming back. Did I tell you? I used to hate the water.
Yeah.
I wonder why. And like, it's just like, kind of thing. Like, and like, to be fair, in like the making of Jaws and stuff, like Peter Benchley was like, the ending worked for the movie. He was like, I stand by my ending and how I ended it in the book and stuff, which is fair. Like, bro, you wrote the book, like stand on it and stuff. But he was like, you know what? Spielberg was right. That was a great ending to the movie and people loved it. And, like, that's why he's Steven Spielberg. And it's like, yeah, he's Steven Spielberg.
I can get like, the different adaptations from like a book to like how it works for a book and how it works for a movie adaptation. Like, in all honesty, for a tragic story like that,
yeah,
you want the heroes to swim off together. You want some type of peace. Like in like, I mean, like, dude, you just saw like people get ravaged,
right?
Like literally, they're
torn apart.
They're literally thrown like this through the water. Like
It's
just like after that, you kind of want that for a book setting, for a novel. Yeah, I guess so. Like it's a different, like, I don't know, the adaptations between them to like from film to book. It does have a certain semblance, like certain types of narratives and conclusions, like they will work out for a novel, and you can read that and you'll be okay. And then if you see it in a movie, you're just like, yeah, it just doesn't stick. I think for me, like, especially if I saw those, I'm like, yeah, Jaws probably wouldn't have had the impact I had.
Right.
Like if everybody was gonna die, I probably wouldn't have gone back to Jaws. Because the fact is like, the only reason I would go back to Jaws is because somebody survived. There was light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
There was a happy ending.
Yeah.
It was tragic, but it was happy in the end.
Yeah.
If everybody there was not that, I'd probably be like, Jaws sucks, man.
Right? It could almost leave with like a bad taste in your mouth, almost. So yeah, and the script is so interesting about it because Howard Sackler comes on and like does like what Steven Spielberg says, like breaks the like backbone of the story of Jaws. And then Carl Gottlieb, he is brought on and is actually credited as the co-writer and the writer of the Jaws log, which is like the shooting script book about the making of Jaws. But Hackler was like, I can only do like a week worth of work or couple of weeks, very small amount, and then he had to be off on like whatever his like real project was because they just caught him in a couple weeks where he was like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out playing Nintendo,
Yeah.
like yeah, I can
right on, man.
He's like, I can do this, but I can't dedicate it to you, so I'll just do this and don't credit me as like a writer or a story or anything like that because like I don't feel personally that I deserve that for the little bit of work, and I would wonder if Sackler like regrets that in any way, or if it's one of those things that like everybody involved is like, no, he's the man because he did that, and maybe he got a lot more work and continued to work like regularly in Hollywood that way. I don't know, but like it's a great story. Like it's just one of those things that like if you like Jaws and you're just like, man, how did this get made? Like,
right.
like not to quote the other podcast, those guys are awesome though, so funny. But like the making of Jaws, the Jaws log, the shark is still working and stuff. Like these are great things, Jaws 50 years later. Great things to like learn about all of these different things. And like Paul Bacon is the guy who did this original cover for the Jaws hardcover. And then we get Roger Castle, who does the famous, Jaws poster that we see, but it was originally made for the paperback book. so that people could, again, take it in the beach, keep it in their back pocket, and just like read it. And I just like, I don't know, like seeing both of those, like I love that the iconic poster of like, and the iconic look that we see now.
The thing about Jaws with that iconic poster though, like it meant like that's the thing. That is probably not only just one of the best like horror or most iconic or noticeable horror posters, but I would actually just say movies overall. Just because of the fact that like you know exactly what that is. You don't need any context with that. You see that, you know that's Jaws.
Right.
And like that kind of paved the way for like, in my personal opinion, it kind of paved the way for like these horror, like it's so simplistic. Yeah. It's so simplistic. For how intense and how like in-depth Jaws can get, like it's so simplistic. You know exactly what you're gonna get out of that.
Yeah.
Like from the book, like I said, this looks like a whale.
Right.
I don't really know what the heck's gonna happen here. But this one, I know she's gonna get messed up. So that's why I say these are extremely iconic, and I really think that like I said, I could see that without any description. I know exactly what it is. I feel like Jaws, personally, for me, might have paved the way with that. And also probably like movie posters were a big thing for when we grew up. That's probably where one of those like little collectors things came for me. Was I loved vintage posters. I loved from baseball, from movies to music. I loved vintage, and I mean Jaws, I think in my personal opinion, like gives that vintage like this is one of the beginnings of like horror for me, and movies. So I've always adored that one. As much as the movie terrifies me, I've always adored that poster.
It's still one of the most iconic posters
ever.
It's actually funny that you keep mentioning that this looks like a whale.
Yeah.
Because
I would think that's Moby Dick.
A little bit.
Not the girl in it, though. Ishmael's.
A little bit of...
Ishmael went for a quick dive.
A little bit of like trivia about it is there was a director who was not named in any of the documentaries. Not named in the making of Jaws, the Shark is Still Working, or in the 50 years of Jaws, the Nat Geo doc. This director is not named, but he got fired before Spielberg was hired on because he kept calling the shark a whale. He kept saying, I've always wanted to make a whale movie.
Yeah. I would fire him too.
Right? Like, bro, we signed you up for a shark flick. Like, if
you imagine him, he's like,
even if you called it
a whale one more time. This dude is about he said it. He said it.
We did it again. And like,
so what was this dude's name?
And they never.
Nobody knows.
I mean, I'm sure you may be able to find that on the internet, but I went with like simply looking at the docs that they have made and that they have put out there that you can get readily available.
The director who shall not be named.
And in all of that,
that's good then. I'm glad because
it's classy. If I'm being honest,
it's Steven Spielberg too,
right?
So, I mean,
and this is Spielberg's third flick.
Yeah,
he does that made-for-TV movie, or maybe not made-for-TV, but the TV movie Duel.
Awesome.
And
I've never seen
it. Really? It's So Spielberg talks a lot about it.
No, let's keep on with Jaws.
He talks a lot about the similarities.
He does.
It's a semi-truck chasing a guy in a car, similar of like this big Leviathan thing chasing after something.
Okay.
And he's called Jaws in these docs. He's like, yeah, it's kind of like my sequel to Duel.
Cool. All right.
So he does Duel, Sugarland Express, and then he does Jaws.
I'll check it out.
And it is not Duel's not widely seen. Kind of tough to find. I'll let you know if I got it.
Yeah.
But this now let's get into our favorites. Do you have a favorite scene in this movie?
Okay, so the one that I'm not even gonna say scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna talk about all like this. This for me is all the Jaws. The one scene that stands out to me the most, actually, and it's not a good movie. I think it's the third one when they're at the sea place, like the
SeaWorld place,
like the SeaWorld place, and there's the underground like coral reef like monorail thing.
Uh-huh.
So they get trapped in there, and the Jaws like breaks it open, and so that's it for me, man. Like that's what did it for me. Like I knew automatically. I was like, okay, hey, I know I'm claustrophobic now. and I knew that I was terrified of the water to begin with. But like that was straight up panic attack. And then what was it, Jaws 3D when it comes in with like Dennis Quaid and breaks through the glass?
That's the same.
Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Jaws 3D.
Yeah, it's Jaws 3. That's why they did it. It was like a gimmick.
Okay, yeah. See, I like, to be honest,
I shouldn't say that.
Jaws 1 and 2. Jaws 1 and 2 is good for me. I love Jaws 1 and 2. They definitely had the biggest impact on me. Of course, I've watched almost all of them. Yeah. But 3D is so freaking bad. That like,
well, the rewatch at home is bad because like they take away the 3D element on it, and nobody has 3D glasses at home, so like it looks goofy. Yeah. Unfortunately, like it looks goofy.
But it's also just bad.
Yeah,
it's not good.
But I mean, like, it is.
Out of 1 and 2, I'm not going to pick 3 to watch. You know,
I'll watch 3 over 4.
I won't watch past 2. But okay, go on with
original Jaws.
Yeah,
original Jaws.
Okay,
favorite scene.
Favorite scene is actually to be honest, it's the conversation on the boat. Basically, when
the Scar scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He talks about that, and then they sing the song, and then of course, Jaws, starts hitting them and stuff. I liked that scene because it was a calm before, and here's the thing: you thought it was a calm before the storm, and it didn't end up being the storm. But like the anticipation and the anxiety that builds, just from a very friendly conversation, like. The entire time of that scene, you're like, something's going to happen. And it's not going to be like Deep Blue Sea where a shark jumps out of the water and snatches Samuel L. Jackson, but something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it was so minimal that you were just like, I can breathe, but at the same time, you're like, it's not over.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's like he bumps the boat and like all that stuff, you're like, oh, he didn't attack. It's not over.
Yeah.
It's going to come back. So that one's always stood out for me.
Well, and then you get the one barrel pops up. And you get the little bit of beeps and stuff that like then if you're looking at the background behind them, you see the light pop up occasionally and stuff, and you're just like, oh my god,
he's stuck.
I love the holiday roast scene because it's just like so funny with the two guys. But if I'm being honest, like in all the docs, they're all talking about how the shark does. There's literally a doc called "The Shark Is Still" because it finally started working.
Yeah.
And but because it didn't work, you get a bunch of stuff like in the third act with the barrels because the shark's not working, but you have to put the shark there.
Yeah.
You have to still add that tension and that intensity there, and so they do that so awesomely with the dock that goes out and then the spin around and the slow and then the increase coming back, man. Like, they're talking about, my wife's gonna kill me if we don't catch something. It's the holiday roast and stuff. And it's just like such like, just married people, like, bullshit that they're just complaining about. And then there's this, like, so it makes it, like, I don't know, it felt really relatable, like, them just being like, rah, 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 like that. And then there's this real terror that, you never see that shark in that scene.
No.
At all. And that turnaround and stuff, I love it.
That's the thing, like, with when it came to Jaws, was like, you didn't have to see the beast to know what was going on. You knew the terror that was coming your way. And as you bring up the turn, which is definitely a core memory for me because of the fact of how you just described it, how abruptly it is, how intense it gets right off the turn. And it's just like, my gosh, you think that, like, you think there's a calm and then there's a storm.
Right.
So, like, the way that they shot the movie, though, it was also...
Billy Butler.
It built anticipation throughout the entire movie until you, like, to the point to where you finally see, not only just it come out, but then all of a sudden you see it come up on the boat. And you're like, whoa, like... they're talking about how big this thing is the entire time. We never had really any idea.
One of the best things about the way they shot it, Bill Butler, one of the most iconic cinematographers ever, like, just do yourself a favor and go check out, like, what he's done, and you will see, like, that he's just shot almost anything that you love from probably 60s forward, like, easily. He's probably involved in it in some capacity, and one of the things that happened is that they're shooting one of the barrel scenes, plank gets ripped off, and the orca starts to sing. So, like, Robert Shaw, Schroeder, and Dreyfuss and stuff, they're all on there sinking in the Atlantic and stuff. And so one of the cameras falls in there. And Jaws is already over budget. It was supposed to shoot for 65 or 70 days. It shoots for like 105 days, which is insane when you think about that, especially in 74. Like, so they can't lose any film. They take the film that fell into the ocean, fly it into New York or New Jersey, whatever one was closer, and they get it developed because the solution that they used was a saline solution, so there was some salt and stuff to it. So it falling into the ocean, the salt water, didn't hurt it if they were able to develop it right away.
Yeah.
And Bill Butler was like, we did not lose a single inch of film.
Nice.
Or he might have said a single foot, but like either way, like that's like an amazing thing. Like that's it, like because it's all 35 millimeter film. It's not digital and like little cards and stuff. Okay, death. I got the opening girl, man, because I remember in film school for a sound class, my film teacher showed us this, and he was like, "This is the difference between what sound and music can do to a movie." As opposed to like how it can and should enhance it though and not take away from it.
Yeah.
Because like if you just watch that girl being whipped around, it's like pretty gnarly to watch, but it's not nearly as like, oh my god, when you don't have her screaming, the splashing of the water, and again John Williams' score just like going crazy. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, for me, it sets the tone for the rest of the movie to know that, like, you're really in for a wild ride. Like, I mean, I'll hear any other, like, death scenes or something as, like, a favorite in there, because there's plenty, and, like, I think there's plenty of other, like, really good ones. Kittner Boy scene is, like, horrific. That whole beach, like, swimming and scrambling, the way it's cut and stuff, like, holy cow. Then we also get that at the Alfred Hitchcock, like, zoom in, pull out of Brody when he sees the actual attack, like... I mean,
that was something that I thought of also, is like, and how this was shot and how this was done. Was like, it is very Hitchcock-esque. Like, for instance, like, and it's not because like for instance, you know, Psycho, it's, you know, the stabbing, and it's just, you know, it's fake. Yeah, it's all fake. But like that's
syrup, baby.
Like it's like that's the thing. Like that's what Hitchcock did. Is like he didn't have to like do all these different crazy things to like. He was just like, okay, we can just fake this. It's the way we shoot it. It's the way we shoot it, and it's the way we do it. And that's exactly how they did it with Jaws. Like, for instance, in the very first opening scene, you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
For most of the movie, until they say it's a shark, you really don't know what it is. And even after you know it's a shark, you still don't really know what it is. And that's why I say it kind of resembles like a Hitchcock-esque like way of portraying the movie.
Absolutely.
Well, you're saying deaths though.
Yeah.
Deaths. Well,
deaths of character or a death. That's what
I do like the first one is good as you explained. And yes, it's the opening of the movie. It really like lays it out like, okay, this is, you know, this is what you're in for, but it is set up kind of like a little bit of a mystery on what it is. And but for me, it's definitely when we finally see like Jaws come up and basically bringing the ship down and
going after Quint.
Yeah. So earlier before this, Jimmy was listening to sound bites and stuff, and the scream of Quinn came across, and I immediately did this. I knew that scream immediately.
It was funny to like, I shouldn't say funny because you were like your eyes kind of got big, like you knew.
I knew what that was.
You knew a friend was being hurt.
Yeah, I was like, and then I was like, and then when I heard, like when it got, yeah, I don't think I would have been friends with him.
Yeah, he's got to be
he's a little out there. Good up in your eyes, go dark. Like, okay, chill out, Gwen. Yeah, the thing, like it was that scream that did it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not gonna say that any death is my favorite death.
Yeah,
that's the one that stands out to me the most, though, is because okay, I say I wouldn't have been friends with him. He was my favorite character.
Okay.
Yeah, he was my favorite character. I loved everything about him. But when he died, I wasn't like, no! I was like, oh man, that stinks. But like, that's where I was like, okay, the other two are gonna survive, that's perfect. Like, I'm okay. If I lose Quinn, it's okay. Like, he's seen too many, you know, too many tours or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, yeah, it's his scene also because, like I said, you get the full depth of what Jaws is.
Yeah.
I mean, that final scene, it's like, it's such a good like climax at the ending of the movie. Basically, it's like you get to see Jaws for what it really is, and you get to see the mayhem it could cause, and that death is definitely the best for me, and then seeing the ship go down, like very dramatic, very suspenseful. Yeah, but that's definitely where my favorite one is at.
What about the score, man? How iconic is this after 50 years?
It's still used for any type of horror.
Yeah, right.
It's still used for any type of thriller, horror, or suspense. It still is, and it's so simple. It's the most simple thing in the world, and it's so freaking iconic. Like it's like all you needed was just just that. And suspense immediately goes up. Yeah. Your anxiety goes up.
Dude, goosebumps all over my body, and I am tense because I know shit is about to go down. Yeah, like without a doubt, something is about to be happening.
Yeah, when you hear that, you know, like okay, well, like we're getting to a point where like something's gonna happen. So. Yeah. And like even like, and the best thing about it is they even used it when things weren't really going to happen. Yeah. Like the entire the way that it's written, the way that it's shot, the way that it's acted, but the score emphasizes the anxiety and the thrill of this movie and hunt. Yes. Basically throughout the whole movie. Without the score, it won't have the same impact. I think we would still be talking about it, but I don't think we would be talking about it the way we are now.
That's fair.
Like,
absolutely.
I don't think you'd be celebrating 50 years.
Right.
I think it'd be like, oh yeah, this was a really good film, but like without that score, you're not going to get that anxiety. You're not going to get that build up.
Right.
You're not going to get scared. Nothing's going to build that up for you to get scared, because like when you see Jaws, like I got scared. Like that scared me. And yeah, the music's always done it. And I mean, we still do that today. Like we talk about anything creepy, we go dun, dun. Right. Anything that has to deal with water, you know that song's playing in here.
Right. One of my favorite things that I found out, and it's similar to what you were saying about like how there's even some fake outs and stuff. John Williams talks about one of his favorite scenes to score in this movie is the chase scene when they're getting the first barrel together and into the shark.
Oh yeah,
because getting the first barrel there is a win for them. And then they're like, and then you get Hooper who's like, I'm turning it around, bring another one ready.
That's like a really inspirational, uplifting moment.
Yeah. And then you see them get turned around and the wind is taken out of their sails, not a sailboat, but but the wind is taken out of them because the barrel goes down and it's gone. And there's this huge deflation of music and stuff. And like Williams is just like sitting there, he's like, haha, I really like doing that one. And it's just like, my guy, yes. Because like John Williams, he scored our entire childhood, man.
Yeah,
like,
true.
You know, like
the thing about that, especially with that part of the movie, is like that's like he really made that a chase scene with that music.
Yeah.
Like with that score, it's like it's actually a chase scene and then the defeat. And it's just like such a song, and like it's not so dramatic. It's not like a super dramatic. It's just like such a somber end to that joyful moment.
Right.
And then he just sombers off like, yeah, that was short-lived.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
It's a really good, like, that part, like, gives you, like, the way that that's scored and in that scene, that gives you hope. That gives you, like, it drives you, like, yeah, they're going to do it. And then, boom, you're like, oh, shit. Wow.
So, should we just say now the best line in the movie is, you're going to need a bigger boat? Or do you think there's a better line in that movie?
No.
And do we just want to do like a number 2, number 3 favorite line?
Okay, so I would say that we're going to need a bigger... No, isn't it you're going to need a bigger boat? You're going to need a bigger boat. You're going to need a bigger boat is probably the more iconic line. I would say smile for me, you son of a bitch, is probably the better line. That is one of the best one-liners I've ever heard in my life. Smile for me, you son of a bitch. And the way he grits his teeth while he's staring down the sight just makes it so much more like this is life or death. Like the way that he acted that line is like this is life or death. Like this is it. Smile for me, you son of a bitch. I love it.
This is why I knew it was right to do the podcast with you, because that's literally my second one. I also like Bad Hat Harry because I also just find that funny. I know Bryan Singer is like, we don't talk about him anymore, but like that was his production company, because this movie, like Bryan Singer, you know, Kevin Smith, Eli Roth, like all of these guys have talked about how much this movie means to them,
Yeah.
how much it like inspired them and stuff. Like Eli Roth, and I want to talk about this because I just think it's cool. Eli Roth about the Jaws log was like, guys, I can't tell you enough how much this thing was like my Bible, like growing up, because it like in 1974 we don't have the internet. You
Right.
only have your library, and I don't know if they're really publishing bound screenplays for people.
Right.
I don't know if you're doing this unless you're one of the single greats. And but like people like Eli Roth, like yeah, they might have watched like Gone with the Wind and Sound of Music and stuff or whatever, but like that's not their jam. That's not what Eli Roth makes. He makes genre films and stuff. So like Jaws being that first balance of like blockbuster, genre, working together and just blowing up the world. We kind of talked about this, about the way Jaws has like changed our views a little bit. You know, don't go in the ocean and stuff. Like, like simply, I ain't going in. Like, not going in the ocean. I will go above my foot, but not above my ankle.
Well, so the thing is like I said, I'll go swimming in the ocean. I'm fine with that. I don't go too far out. And the reason I don't like the ocean is not only just because of my claustrophobia, anxiety, whatever, fear of drowning or anything like that is, and I've stated this recently many times within our group of friends, the ocean is just the aliens' rejects, okay? Sharks have been here longer than anything. They're just aliens, okay? Like,
Yeah.
basically what it is like...
Sharks,
monsters exist. They're
and
in the
crocodiles.
ocean. Why do you think they're in the ocean? Because you shouldn't be going there, man. Like, don't go in the ocean. This movie is this is
What
a
about the
PSA.
Kraken?
Dude, Jim, it's just a hockey team. No, but like, in all honesty, it's just like don't go in the ocean. We know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Death.
Yeah, that's
Death is there. And no, the reason I say this is because this was a theory I had. It's a joking theory of like, basically the ocean is just where all the aliens sent their rejects, like their monsters and stuff, and like the real life monsters. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen what's at the bottom of the ocean? It's terrifying. So that's why that's the joke of the theory. But yeah, like I said, I won't travel down. I don't even like going out. I've done a whale watch thing. That was fun.
Oh, okay.
That was too much.
Yeah.
That was good. I don't need to do that again. Ever. It was cool. We saw whales. I see them in an aquarium. I could see them on TV. Like, I can't go to the aquarium, too.
Yeah.
Like, I can go to the aquarium, but I cank go to the underground coral reef.
Oh, being underground, that whole
Yeah.
That's
That's why I'm saying in Shark
Yeah.
in Shark 3D, Jaws 3D, that moment it's like, oh no, that's too much for me. So
yeah, I don't like that.
yeah, no,
Too spooky. Unsubscribe.
yeah.
Is there any other shark movie that you would say is better than Jaws?
No, there's no shark movie that's better than Jaws. I mean, other than Sharknado, of course. Masterpiece.
I will say, like, unapologetically, I do love Deep Blue Sea. It isn't better
Oh
than...
yeah, of course.
It isn't better than Jaws.
It is the
but-
dumbest shark horror movie.
But for
I love it.
But for me, man, like, I love that double feature of doing Deep Blue Sea and then doing Jaws.
The thing about Deep Blue Sea, though, and like it is just such a nod, like an acknowledgement, like a nod to Jaws and
Yeah.
and what it's done, and it takes Jaws and then it's like, hey, let's blow it up, let's really make this extreme, and they do that. The reason I will always say Deep Blue Sea could never match to Jaws is only because Samuel L. Jackson does.
Yeah,
Sorry, you
that's
can't
fair.
do that. That's not fair.
That's fair.
But LL Cool J did survive, but she killed his bird.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like
Don't
that
hurt
either.
pets. But no, and I don't think anything's ever going to compare to Jaws, especially the original. Like, everybody talks about like Empire's better than this, or
Yeah.
like Empire, or like this number 2, Back to the Future 2, I think is better than number 1. When it comes to this, the original Jaws, like, that takes the cake. I do love Jaws 2,
Yeah.
but Jaws.
I do like Jaws 2. I like Jaws 2 as well. But yeah,
This was suspenseful and a thrill. Jaws is literally just a horror eat 'em movie. Like, it's literally it's eating kids whole.
Yeah, it is.
I was like,
This movie's amazing. I've got to ask. I put a little list here. Do
Yeah.
you have any other? So I've got another 3 lists of animal attack movies that
Just specifically animal attack movies?
Yeah, specifically animal attack
Is this a genre?
Yeah, it sure is. It's a beautiful horror genre, and I know you've seen every single one.
I don't think I ever, when we worked at Video Playground, I don't think any of ever came up like, yeah, I'm looking for animal attack movies.
But I've got Lake Placid.
Yeah, of course.
Anaconda. Tremors.
Well, Tremors is a classic.
So we've got Jaws, Deep Blue Sea, so that's like my 5 right there. But you also got to include Planet of the Apes in this.
No.
Godzilla.
No, I don't agree with Planet of the Apes.
And King Kong.
I don't agree with Planet of the Apes, though. I don't think that's an animal attacks movie.
Okay.
That's what? It's an alternate reality, basically, and humans have been replaced by apes.
They don't attack Charlton Heston?
That's not, they're not animals.
That's fair.
They're not animals in that. Like, literally, like, I don't want to get into this. Like, I could go into this, but like, I don't see them as animals, though. That's the point of it. I don't see them as animals in that movie. So I'm not going to say it's an animal attacks movie. But I'm sorry. You said Lake Placid, Tremors, Godzilla. Now wait, hold on. All Godzillas? Because is that a monsters? That's a monster movie. Is that an animal attacks? Would you consider Godzilla an animal?
Kaijus are animals.
Yeah,
you know,
okay,
like it's just to be fair,
the last one?
Well, to be fair, it's another like subgenre.
Yeah.
Of it.
Okay,
and
what was the last one?
I said King Kong.
I don't like King Kong. I never have.
Okay. Just classic movie from 1933.
No, like seriously, it's just like just doesn't. No.
Yeah.
Like I think we've talked about this before. I'm not big on the whole monster movies either.
No,
like I mean, like
that is fair.
Giant monster like Godzilla, King Kong. It's not a big thing for me. I don't dislike them. Yeah, I don't dislike them. King Kong, no, I won't. Like it doesn't. I don't.
Doesn't do it for you.
I don't want to see a giant ape, terrorizing the city. Now, monstrous lizard. Yeah, yeah, I could do that because I don't want to. I don't want to see like a giant ape that I could see. Like, I don't know. It's really weird to describe. But it's just I would prefer Godzilla over. But monster movies aren't my biggest thing. But Tremors is a huge thing for me too. Tremors is another movie that will compare to Jaws with me when it comes down to I didn't want to walk on the ground for months after I saw Tremors.
I didn't want to go into the desert.
I wanted to sit on my bed for months because Tremors
was always on cable.
That was something I wanted to mention. That was something I wanted to mention.
About it.
Was how Jaws was so prevalent for me growing up was because of the
rewatch.
Yeah, because of the fact of this. Like, okay, my dad introduced it to me when I was probably about 5. Okay, and the thing is like we had cable, so Jaws was replaying on TBS and TNT and crap like that. Like every other day. I was terrified of Jaws, and it'll never stop scaring me because I would just keep watching it. I'm terrified of this thing, and it's on. It's like, oh, Jaws is on. And then I'm suddenly like, oh my God, this is the worst. 2 days later, turn off Cartoon Network. Oh, Jaws is on.
You know what's wild about Jaws too? Just because you're talking about like the TV stuff. Just before we started recording, we were listening to the Rewatchables podcast off the Ringer Network from their 2018 Jaws podcast, and they said that they played Jaws on TV for the first time, I think in 1979, and it had 57% of the total viewership at that time. And they were then like the discussion is like, does that even happen anymore? No. Like is there any show that more than half the people in America are like, I can't miss this?
Two Broke Girls.
Because this is also like the days before TiVo and stuff. Like 79, you might be getting. I don't even know if VHS is a thing yet. Like you still don't. You get the laser disc in like 1980. Like that gives you the first like making of Jaws. That amazing like doc and stuff. So like, you for sure we're getting something, but not like a lot yet for it. It's just one of those things. Like I just don't know if any movie has that kind of draw anymore.
Seinfeld's series finale.
I mean, Friends got a lot of viewership too, unfortunately.
I'm fine. We were just talking about that. So.
Yep. But Jaws Log, have you ever read this?
No.
Okay.
I actually did not know about this until you brought it up to me, so I'm really interested in hearing about this.
So I did do a little bit of research about Jaws Log in case if anybody wants to pick up a copy. Locally here, we're in the Chicagoland area. Bookies, you can order it on their website into their store, and it'll be there in a couple of days. You can get it if you have a library card via Hoopla and via Bookies website as well. You can get a digital ebook copy of it. I just mentioned Eli Roth earlier. Jordan Peele talks about Jaws and the 50 years of Jaws for that Nat Geo doc, but Eli Roth called this book his Bible, and I just want to talk about that because his Cabin Fever documentary, no matter our commentary track, no matter how you feel about that movie, is a really good, fun commentary track film. So if you have that original his original Cabin Fever on whatever DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, and check that out. It's a really fun one. Go grab again Jaws Log. Grab
Jaws Log. By the way, probably goes for around $14.90 up to $25.99.
Yeah,
so,
that's about the price range you'll look for it. You can still buy the physical. This is
that was for paperback.
This is this is the hardcover for it. This is the same look of the paperback and stuff that you would see on that cover. You can still buy those.
Quick question. Yeah. Who narrates it?
It is actually narrated by Eric Steele.
Who's that?
I don't know.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Is it okay? British, American?
No. The guy I don't know if he's a northeastern New York kind of Boston area accent. It's not really Boston, but but that northeastern city kind of accent and stuff. I like it. I mean, this is the 8-disc.
Screw you, guy. Yeah, not screw you, bud.
Get into the car.
It's a goddamn shark.
The car down by the yard.
No, pull it up by the harbor. There's a fucking shark over here. I think I'm mixing Boston and New York.
I don't even know, man.
Same place. Same place.
The shark is not working. Did you know Benchley shows up in Jaws himself?
Who?
Benchley, the writer, the author?
Yes, I did know that. He's the
TV reporter on the beach.
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah.
And like I said, it maybe found out it was a book, definitely with over 10 years ago, but I did find that out after I found out the book, and then I scrolling on Facebook or something, or news medias about movies. Yeah, I came across that. So yeah, that is one fact I knew.
Nice. Finally here, like I said, the making of Jaws and the shark is still working. You can find on any physical media of Jaws, Blu-ray, the 4K, whatever it is. That new Nat Geo, 50 years of Jaws, you can watch that on Disney Plus.
It's on my watch list.
It's about an hour and a half long. I will say personally, I loved on how they included cast members and stuff who were still around and people who still made it who are still around. But they also included a bunch of filmmakers who quote it as inspiration. You got clips from Kevin Smith in there. You got clips of Steven Soderbergh, Jordan Peele. You got these legends just talking about what this movie means and how it helped them decide oh, this is what I want to tell. I want to tell stories
you can tell with Peele too, that he clearly has.
Oh, bro, dude, just listen to that guy talk about horror.
The way that he already does his films, that total homages to Jaws and the way that they did it,
Jaws
due to script, due to acting, all the way due to the way that he shoots it and score.
Yeah,
his scores have been almost perfect.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna say it's flawed at all. I'm just saying almost perfect because I don't know if we could really say anything's perfect, but you're
it's pretty close.
It's everything.
If it's not there, it's real close.
I love everything that he does, and you can tell that he has passion for movies like Jaws and movies like Halloween. Nightmare on Elm Street, even Clockwork Orange and stuff like that. Those types of thrillers, horrors, psychological stuff, thrillers and stuff like that. You could tell his passion and how books and movies like Jaws clearly influenced him because you see it in all of his work.
Yeah.
Every single movie you can see from Peele, I could definitely say that like you could see his inspirations from Jaws, from Michael Myers, from whatever horror movies that really spoke to him. You can see little bits and pieces of those inspirations in all of his movies. And I do think he is possibly one of the best directors out there right now.
Oh,
for sure.
There. And then, like, one of the last final things I have here before we start wrapping up, the guy who made the doc, the 50 Years of Jaws and the making of Jaws is the same guy. Like, I love that this dude has just loved Jaws enough that he's like, I'm going to make 2 docs.
What a nerd.
And the making of Jaws is a 2-hour doc.
Crap, it's jazz! Get the car!
I guess with that being said, man, do you have...
I'm sorry, that just seemed like a Family Guy clip. Crap, it's jazz!
I guess with all this being said, man, do you have any final comments about Jaws, how much you love it, or what it means to you?
No.
No? All right.
No. No.
Wow, okay.
The reason I like, and I mean, I know I come in, do guest appearances every once in a while because, you know, I'm so popular and everybody's like, wow. The reason I wanted to do this though was because it was basically just came up in conversation, and Jimmy was like, "Hey, the 50th anniversary," and I was just like, "Yeah, I want to talk about Jaws," because, like I said, yeah, a lot of trauma,
lots of trauma.
Still scared of the movie today, and I will rewatch it. But like, those are all core memories for me. Like, I mean, I remember sitting in my basement at my parents' house, and like my sisters playing Sega. While I'm running around while Jaws is on TV, pretending that I'm like Quinn or Hopper or whoever, like on the boats. Like, I would make up stupid stories that there's, oh my god, Super Jaws is here. Like, that's the thing. Jaws not only can scare you and cause trauma and like really like get under your skin, but it could spark imagination.
Oh, yeah.
It could spark thought and really like make you venture out there. Like, make you venture out, go on that hunt.
Yeah.
Like they did in the book and in the movie, and it does have a special place in my heart. Like I said, my dad introduced it to me, and my dad has been with us for a couple of years now. So like, when I think about these movies specifically, like it's scare the crap out of me, cause me trauma. But my dad, we would sit down and watch it together, and we'd joke about it, and we you know, it was terrifying. And like, my dad didn't really put on the kid gloves with me, like my mom did. Like, he didn't really understand that I was anxious, nervous, and scared all the time. So Jaws wasn't the best idea. So it's just, you know, it's good to reminisce about these things. 50 years is amazing, and it's been a part of my entire life. So it's just been great to talk about these things and just show our appreciation for it. And,
like, I know my mom probably allowed me to watch this movie because she used to talk about seeing this movie in theaters when he was little with, like, my grandpa and stuff. So, like, I can only imagine, like, what that kind of was, like, seeing it, like, in that first, you know, it's out, like, how crazy that would have been. Jaws still scares the shit out of me. It still makes me uncomfortable in the water. The score, the sound, the editing of it, like, they all won Oscars for it. You know, Vera Fields for editing, John Williams for the score, and I think it's John Naga, maybe? No, the Naga was the horn that almost drowned when he said, "Fuck the ass, save the equipment," which is really funny. I can't think of the guy. The guy's first name is John, who won an Oscar for the sound. I should know his name, but I'm a terrible person, and I can't give him enough respect. I'm horrible. But
you are all horrible.
I love Jaws, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I am Jimmy with the Triple C Collective.
I'm Ed Martin.
And we want to thank you all for joining us. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel. You know, the beaches are closed.
Smile for us, son of a bitch.